What's up, movie watchers? This is Kevin Kaine. Travis challenged me to try and get some more video content out there. So traditionally, if you guys already know, I thrive more in long form and no script type of format. That's why I have my podcast. So I wanted to challenge myself to doing the complete opposite, having a script and being really short and concise. So that's kind of where the idea of the show came from. So yeah, this is the pilot episode. I don't see if you guys like it. Let me know. Give me some comments, some tips, some criticisms, any kind of input. I'll accept it. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to do this. It's some fish out of water here, so we'll see how it goes. So the first question to answer is, what exactly is the show? Of course, this show was an inspiration from a friend of mine. He gave me a great compliment. He told me, Kevin, you're great at explaining things to a guy like me. While I graciously accept a compliment like that, I'm not really doing anything too special whenever I answer my friends' questions like this. Essentially, I just do a light research for whatever interests me of movies or TV shows before I watch them. A preamble to the official release, if you will, a prologue of my own making. And that's where the name of the show comes from. Make your own prologue. So, this week, we're going to talk about scary stories and where to tell them. So, what inspired this specific show, not the overall series of shows, but this show in particular, the one you're currently watching, it started with a simple question. Right after I watched the trailers for Scary Stories and Where to Tell Them, I was like, where did this come from? And I thought initially it was from like a creepypasta type thing, but it turns out I was wrong. So I started a journey to kind of answer the questions. I quickly found out that the movie is inspired by 3 novels, collected by Alvin Schwartz, with drawings by Stephen Gammell. Once I found this out, I wanted to go purchase these. So naturally, I went to Amazon to try and get the 3-book collection, and noticed in the reviews of Amazon, there was a lot of controversy when it comes to the art of the official re-release. They had replaced Gammell's art with some other artist's artwork, and a lot of the original fans were very upset. This is something I wanted to highlight at the beginning of the show, because this is going to be really important later. Needless to say, based off all those reviews, I made sure to go back and get the re-release book with Gammell's original art. So now that we're chasing the original question, let's ask a new one. What are these books all about? I'm going to start first with the writing. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a collection of short stories collected by Alvin Schwartz that come from local folklore and urban legends aimed at kids around 8 to 12. And you can tell that while reading them, it's very much aimed towards the kids demographic. While reading the books, I often found myself recognizing the stories or tales being told, but they had a slight differences here and there from the stories told from your friends and through your neighbors, all that kind of stuff. But they're very familiar, and that's one key thing I wanted to kind of highlight for these collections of books. For instance, The Hook, a tale that I remember hearing as a kid. Right, so there's that guy who escapes jail with a knife and a missing left hand, and of course, in place of his left hand is a hook. And we have that couple in the car, and they hear the radio, and the girlfriend wants to leave, but the boyfriend wants to kiss her, and he's like, no, let's stay. And they hear some scratching, and the girlfriend freaks out, and they just drive away. And by the time they get home, they look and see that a hook is on their door handle. So like the guy was almost going to kill him, right? Ooh, creepy. So that's one story in particular that's in the collection of Scary Stories, that familiarity that I'm trying to highlight. Each story is concise, retelling these folklore and urban legends, leaving just enough room for you to embellish when telling at a campfire or under the covers at a sleepover. And that's one thing that kind of struck me with the source material, is that they're very, very concise. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's worth mentioning. If you ever get a copy of these, that's one thing I'm sure you'll notice. They're very short, to the point, and leave a lot of room for you to add, embellish, get some more backstories. It's almost like an outline of the tale that he found from the different cultures and the different people he asked for. There's nothing too graphic or violent. Like I said, these are for kids, but a lot of creeps and sometimes some laughs. One of my favorite parts about the books is Schwartz includes details where he heard and found these tales, and how they're different, how the versions differ depending on where the story came from. These sections are called sources, and they were often the highlight for me while I was doing this research. So now that I've answered what these books are all about, I want to answer another. What makes these books special? The answer to that question is Steve Gammell's art. Like I mentioned before, a key important point at the beginning of this episode, there was a controversy with his art being removed in the re-release. And let me tell you, that controversy is justified. Stephen Gammell's art is haunting. It's what sticks with me from those books the most is the artwork that he draws and being inspired by the tales that Schwartz is putting in the collection. His work is, like I said, his work is haunting, completely and utterly creepy, and gives these scary stories their soul. Like I mentioned before, these stories are aimed at kids. If I had to venture a guess, this artwork is very much treading that line of for kids. They often prelude the text, and they give such a visceral image in what I'm assuming kids' heads were before the story was told. And when I hear that a lot of people love these stories and a lot of people love this artwork, I get it. Like if I was a kid, when you see these images and you see these stories, you're gonna be creeped out. It's really, really eerie. I can't do him justice. Just go check out Gamel's work for scary stories. And while I'm here, when talking about Gamel's art, I wanted to kind of talk about how his art translated to the trailers. That's one of the things the trailers struck out to me, was how creepy and horrific these monsters were in the trailers. And I can tell you right now that Gamel's art has bled onto screen. The people who are making this movie know what they're doing, and they're doing it justice. So as creeped out as you were, if you've seen the trailers for the movie, let me tell you that his artwork is going to creep you out just as much. Another thing I remember hearing about was that Guillermo del Toro was tied to it. Of course, it was in the trailer. Guillermo del Toro, of course, is a writer. He has a writer's credit on this movie. And based off his works, like Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, The Shape of Water, Pacific Rim, the Strain novel and TV series, I couldn't be more excited, and I couldn't try and give a better person to be tied to a movie like this. And let me tell you, I thought I was as hyped as possible up until this point, but then I decided to do a little research on the director. This movie is directed by Andre Overdahl. I looked him up, and it turns out he directed one of my favorite cool horror movies on Netflix, Troll Hunter. I won't spoil anything for you guys about Troll Hunter. I just say go watch that movie. It's a lot of fun, and it's on Netflix. And if you have Netflix, you have no excuse. And then watch it, get hyped, get excited for scary stories to tell in the dark with me. So there we have it, everyone. The first episode of Make Your Own Prologue. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, like the idea of the show, like the title suggests, is to create your own prologue, like I guess I've been doing for a lot of my life, and reasons to get excited about the movie. But of course, to avoid any kind of spoilers, this is very light, very short, very concise kind of description of why I'm excited for this movie. And if anyone was asking me, why are you so excited about this movie, I just show them this video. And maybe that's why I decided to start the series, so people could stop asking me and I could just send them to the YouTube link. I don't know, who knows. But again, fans, thanks for watching. Thanks for sitting with me. Again, I got you out of here in under an hour, which is impressive for me, trust me. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy yourselves. I'll be there day one to watch scary stories to tell in the dark, and maybe I'll even shoot a podcast about it. And while I'm here, let's go ahead and mention my podcast, The Luner's Cut. You can find it at podbean.com/The Luner's Cut. That may be wrong, but it will be down in the description for all those little links. But The Luner's Cut, of course, is a show. The show is played off the director's cut. And it's a safe place for me to talk with my friends about, discuss movies and TV shows for as long as we want and whatever we want. And I would encourage you to go listen to it if you thought, man, I didn't get enough of this jerk talking to me. I want to hear him talk to me for 2 hours. Then that's what The Lunar Cut's about. On top of really interesting discussions about movies and TV shows. Yeah, hit me up if you want to get a hold of me. You can find me at lunarscut@gmail.com. The lunarscut@gmail.com. And thanks for your time, guys. I'm out.